Sydney.
Scream 7 is here and Stu Macher is back. Well, kinda. Because if this movie gives us anything, it's a very modern twist on horror nostalgia. Instead of resurrecting characters the old-fashioned way, Scream 7 decides to drag them back into the story using AI, deepfakes, and a whole lot of psychological mind games aimed straight for our main Scream queen, Sidney Prescott. So today, we're breaking down all of those cameo appearances and legacy returns. The ones that worked, the ones that maybe didn't, and what they actually say about where this franchise might be heading next. We're getting into the good, the bad, and of course, the meta. Let's get into it.
I died for you, Sydney. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Honestly, I don't think anyone expected Scream 7 to turn into the reunion tour that it did. Going in, we knew nostalgia was going to play a big role. The marketing wasn't exactly subtle about it either. Neve Campbell returning as Sidney Prescott, now going by Sydney Evans, was front and center from the very beginning. And behind the camera, original screenwriter Kevin Williamson stepping into the director's chair felt like a full circle moment for the franchise. And of course, the big one everyone was talking about was the possibility that Stu Macher might somehow be back in the picture. Yes, that Stu. You know, the one that famously had a television dropped on his head back in 1996? Whether you believed it or not, the movie definitely enjoyed playing with that idea, layering in just enough hints to get fans theorizing again. Because if there's one thing this franchise loves doing, it's messing with our expectations. And a huge chunk of the movie is built around one big question. Are the videos Sidney keeps receiving actually real? Throughout the film, she's being sent these creepy clips of what looks like an older, scarred version of Stu. Same voice, same mannerisms, just aged and a little worse for wear after that whole TV to the face situation. In the videos, he's taunting Sidney, threatening her family, basically promising that her past is finally coming back to finish the job. And to be fair, the marketing absolutely leaned into that mystery. The trailers kept hinting that this new Ghostface had a direct connection to Sidney's past, which obviously sent the fan base into full conspiracy mode about whether Stu might somehow still be alive. But nope. As the film eventually reveals, Stu is very much still dead. Shocker, I know. So what Sidney has actually been seeing are deepfake videos created by Marco, one of the killers, who happens to be a bit of an AI whiz thanks to his background working at Google. That's how the movie pulls off the whole Stu return. Now, I'll be honest, I've always been firmly in the camp that Stu died in 1996, so I'm actually glad the movie didn't try to retcon that. As much as I'm a Matthew Lillard stan and loved seeing him back in Scream, I think bringing him back for real would have been a terrible move for the franchise. It would be hard to believe any death was truly final because the films can just bring the characters back now. Ironically, it would kill any investment we, the audience, have in any of the franchise's death scenes going forward. Using AI as the explanation is definitely a very modern solution. And to be fair, I actually like the concept. Using deepfakes to resurrect people from Sidney's past as a way of psychologically torturing her is very Scream. But honestly, one of the more disappointing things about Scream 7 is how little the AI angle really feeds into the killer's motive. It's mostly just used as a tool to mess with Sidney, which works, but considering how creepy and genuinely disturbing AI manipulation can be, I'm kind of surprised the film didn't go further with it. It felt more like the filmmakers were like, we want Lillard back, but not back. How do we do it? Well, AI is popular now. That works. Like, imagine if Jessica and Marco had decided they were basically going to make their own horror movie using AI, bringing back whatever killers or characters they wanted digitally, and then splicing that footage together with the real murders they were committing. I mean, they could have even framed Sidney or Gale through manipulated footage. There's actually a lot of interesting commentary you could do there about AI, media manipulation, and modern AI abuse and how people consume violence as entertainment. And it just feels like the film only scratches the surface of that idea. By the time we reach the third act, Sidney is lured back to her house, where the film really starts messing with her head. Because suddenly the AI deepfakes aren't just Stu popping up on video calls anymore. Now we've got the whole roster of Scream icons. The house becomes this showcase of ghosts from Sidney's past, all appearing through those same AI-generated videos. It all plays out in a manner that basically screams we are getting a Halloween Horror Nights attraction based on this scene. In fact, I wouldn't have been surprised if they already got all the cast to film scenes for the attraction after they did their scenes for the movie. For longtime Scream fans, this has basically a roll call of the people who've traumatized her over the years. We've got Nancy Lumis, Billy Loomis's mother from Scream 2, played once again by Laurie Metcalf. Back then, she was hiding under the alias Debbie Salt before revealing herself as one of the killers. Then the film digs even deeper into the past with Roman Bridger from Scream 3, Sydney's half-brother and the man responsible for orchestrating the murder of her mother. If there's one character tied to some of Sydney's most complicated trauma, it's Roman. And then, the one that hit harder than a knife to Gale Weather's shoulder. It's only Dewey Riley! Seeing David Arquette appear in one of these AI videos is where the whole thing shifts from creepy to gut punch. Dewey was the heart of the franchise for years, and bringing him back like this feels deliberately designed to push Sydney over the edge. By this point, between Dewey, Roman, Nancy, and Stu constantly taunting her in the background, the movie is basically throwing every nightmare she's ever had right back in her face. This woman has been through about 15 lifetimes worth of trauma at this point, and Scream 7 really piles it on. Not only does it drag up all of her past wounds, but it also shifts the danger onto the people closest to her. Her husband Mark is already badly injured, and Jessica's plan is to force Sydney's daughter Tatum to watch her mother die, essentially creating a brand new final girl through trauma, just like Sydney was. It's a brutal idea, and to be fair, thematically it does line up with the film's whole obsession with legacy, but the execution is a little more complicated, because while the cameos themselves are fun to spot, they also start to feel slightly detached from the action. Unlike previous films that used hallucinations or dream sequences, these appearances all happen through video screens, which makes them feel more like references than actual moments in the story. So by the end of Scream 7, the door is very clearly left open for more sequels, which means our favorite Scream Queen might still have a few more nightmares ahead of her. But it does raise a bigger question. At this point, have they basically exhausted all the legacy characters the franchise can realistically bring back in one movie? Or is AI the route they're going to keep taking? Because Scream 7 has already opened that door with the deepfakes, bringing figures from Sydney's past back into the story digitally. But if the franchise leans further into that idea moving forward, it's going to have to be handled really carefully. So what do you think? Did you like the AI angle? Which legacy character did you most enjoy seeing again? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments about the Scream metaverse. Make sure you're subscribed to Oddly Horrific for more horror deep dives, theories, and franchise takeovers. And remember, if the phone rings, maybe just let it go to voicemail.